YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Rank. I'm back again for the third time. Gonna teach you a little something today. I'm gonna teach you how to make a simple little chord progression, and I'm also gonna teach you how to make a simple little beat to go with it inside of Ableton Live 10. So let's get started. So I've got what I've got loaded up here is just a piano. I'm gonna take 4 bars, highlight them, Shift Control M on your keyboard, or right click and add MIDI channel. Add MIDI. And I'm working in the key of D minor. I like D minor, I don't know why. I think it sounds good. So it's all white keys except for B, which is B flat. So when you're making a simple chord progression, I would say just stick with the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord. First chord's called the tonic, fourth chord's called the subdominant, and the fifth chord is called the dominant. I will show you here. You've got D minor, G minor, A minor. So D is the tonic, and subdominant's G minor, dominant's A minor. And why you kind of want to stick with those is that the first, the fourth, and the fifth chords in each key actually use all the notes. So all the notes in that key are used if you use those three. And they typically sound pretty good together, especially if you use different inversions. Alright, so typically I'll start with a 1. And a triad is made up of the first note, so D, and then the third note, so D, E, F, and then G, and then the fifth note is on the fifth, obviously. So I'll show you. Start with D. If you hold Control and then click on your mouse and scroll, it'll make another note. So D, E, F. That's the third, and then we want the fifth. G, A. That's D minor right there. What I like to do is kind of change the velocities, switch it up a little bit so it doesn't all sound the same. And what I'm going to do is go up to the subdominant or the fourth chord. So D, I'm going to click and hold Control. So D, E, F, G. So G, and we'll go G is 1, A, B is the third one, but B in the key of D minor is flat. So then we have B, which is the third, C, D. So now we have a 1-4 chord progression. I'm just messing with these velocities to make it sound more human. Where do you go? There you are. In inversion, I'm gonna make, when you're making a chord progression, you don't want these big jumps up in pitch here, like from this A to this D. So an inversion of a chord is when you take one of the notes and you shift it an octave up or an octave down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit Shift and then down on my keyboard, and that will actually shift that D or that fifth note of that chord down. So that'll make it inverted. And you see how there's not nearly as big of a jump? That's kind of what we're looking for. So we've got 1, 4, let's do 5. So D, E, F, G, A. We'll take D and go up to A here. A, B flat, C, and then D to E. That's the fifth note. And I'm gonna make these two inversions here. Shift down. See that? That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna do another 5. So 1, 4, 5. But these two are inversions too, so Pretty much you just want to make your progressions look as compact as possible without big jumps if you can. It typically sounds better that way, less choppy. So I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna go, let's see. That sounds okay. Kind of up and down. What I like to do, I'm in 16ths, but if you go to fourths, the last quarter note, I kind of like it to jump up a little bit. So I'm gonna take it from the 5th chord to the 6th. So we have D, E, so we have A. So I want it to be B flat. So let's go. I'm holding control. Oops. Control. Another one. Get a quarter note. B flat. That's B flat. So we have B, D, and then F. I'm gonna invert these down an octave so they fit better within the chords. That sounds pretty good. So we have a 1, 4, 5, 5. They're just inverted differently. And then a 6, 4, 5, 5, 6. I'm just gonna duplicate this. I typically do 8 chord progressions, or 8 bar chord progressions. Let's have that second chord of that last 4 bars go up, actually. See what that sounds like. And sometimes to make it less choppy, I will double some of these notes within the chord down. So that's B flat. Sounds okay. Get up. I don't really like it that much. Try D. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I kind of like it. Alright. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna join these two MIDI clips together. So I'll hold down Shift, click both of them. I'll do Control J. That'll make them one MIDI clip. Or you could have just held down Shift on both of them and then right click. Alright, so this is what we have so far. Alright, and then what kind of will make it sound a little bit cooler is if we break these into 8 or quarter notes. Control 1 and 2, we'll go up and down. Let's get to quarter notes. Take these, drag them to quarter notes. Hold down Control, click and drag, Control, click and drag, Control, click and drag. Do the same thing over here. hold down control, click and drag. Come on. Maybe. Let me. Or I'm sorry, you don't hold control. I'm losing it. Alright, just highlight them, then click and drag them back, and then hit control. Click and drag. Hold control. Hold control. And this back. Oops. Now let's take a listen to it. That sounds pretty good. It's a nice simple little one progression with 1, 4, and 5. And I don't pretend like I'm a master composer. I know a decent amount of music theory, but I'm no pro, so I'm sure some of you out there could school me in some of this stuff and some of this nomenclature and stuff. But alright, so let's add a little bit a little simple beat to it. So let's get a snare pattern down. I like that snare. A. Snare. Control 2 to get into the grid into quarter notes. And then I typically put my snares on the 3. And then what I'm gonna do, oops. I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm gonna click and drag this bar and then just duplicate that bar, because I typically keep my snares on the 3 at all times. Kind of gives the listener something to watch out for. It keeps the rhythm going, because if your snares are all over the place and your kicks are all over the place, it kind of sounds like everything's just everywhere. It doesn't really sound cohesive or structured. Okay, got some reverb set up, which a little bit of extra processing on there, some sidechain compression, which I can show in a later video, but alright, let's get a kick pattern down. Kicks, I typically just go with what feels right. Let's see here, kick drum. So you see I'm using D. I'm in D minor, like one of my previous videos that I showed. So I'm using D, a kick that's in D, and I'm using a snare that's in A. So that's a perfect 5th above. So, alright, let's get a pattern down. Typically, I'll put my grid in 8th note, so I can get a pretty good pattern that way. So let's hear. Let's see. Don't. Don't. Let's try that. Don't. Don't. Let's get one here. And I'm holding control and clicking and dragging to get these. You can also right click, copy, click where you want it, paste it, but that wastes time. Or you can just do control D, duplicate, same deal. Alright, let's hear this. I want it here. And have it like here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. Alright. Typically I'll get 4 bars down, duplicate it, and you can switch it up however you want it, but I'm just trying to get a simple one. That sounds good. I'm gonna take that 4 bars and just duplicate that. I'm gonna add a little side chain. I can show you a side chain in another video. It pretty much just makes it so when the kick and the snare are playing, that chord progression, those keys will duck, so it doesn't sound too cluttered. It's my little kick key, which I will definitely teach you about that later if you'd like. Let's see. We can do this. Okay, that, Control D. Alright, add a couple hi-hats and we'll call it a day. Go to my percussion, and I have a pre-made template here. I highly recommend having a template made. It helps you start music way faster because I have some of the processing already done on some of these channels, and a lot of just the stuff that I think I'll need later, like compression, EQ, reverb, stuff like that, is already there for me, so I don't have to go hunting over here. Alright, let's get some hi-hats, just some quick little hi-hats. Eddie. I'm gonna do highlight 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Shift Control M. Pull this up. I already had this loaded in, but if nothing's loaded in, you just add a new MIDI track. All you have to do here to get this hi-hat into a MIDI track is drop it right here. And sampler will load up. Voices, always put that to 1 if it's a monophonic instrument like hi-hat. You don't need it 6 voices. I kind of like, this is personal preference, but you can do more stuff in simpler, so I always switch it over. Alright, let's just lay down some 8th notes or something. C3. 8th notes? No. So Control 1 or Control 2. We'll get to 8 notes. 8th notes. Push that up. You know what I'm gonna do? We'll get 4 here, and then the first one to accentuate the 1. I'm gonna have that velocity higher. And then I'm just gonna click and drag that. I can duplicate that too. See what that sounds like. And there you have it, folks. Taught you how to make a simple little chord progression and a simple little beat to go along with it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. Instagram, hit me up in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm around, I'm available. If you're learning how to make music, I'm still learning too, so I'm right there with you, but anything I can do to help you, I'm always here. Just hit my line, I'll be around. Have a great week.